Florida trying to end it up against the wall, which would be fitting. 3 seconds to go. The Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup. For the first time in their 30-year history, the Florida Panthers are Stanley Cup champions. They made it about as hard on themselves as they possibly could, battling a valiant Edmonton team that had rallied from adversity all season long. And Paul Maurice, coaching lifer, 30 years in the National Hockey League, has his Stanley Cup.
What the puck is going on?
Here's your host of What the Puck is Going On, Dave Metzger.
All right, good evening. Deep in broadcasting back for another Tuesday night of NHL action. We got us a decent little slate tonight. Steve, how are we on this Tuesday?
Doing good, Dave. Looking forward to, I've been, with all the other sports we have going on, it seems like Tuesday night is just our hockey night, especially with the show just on Tuesdays now. So it kind of gives you that little extra excitement here early in the week that we can just really be dedicated to hockey, get a few tickets in, and, trying to really cash and have some fun with it. And like you said, a good slate.
Yeah, Steve, I think since we've switched over, definitely the perfect night. We've been getting some good slates every Tuesday night so far, and I do believe that will continue. So like you said, Steve, early week action, we can kind of focus a little bit more on what we need to focus on. We're going to try and do that again this evening. I will say I took a look, was doing some homework. There's some tough ones tonight, Steve, that's for sure. We're going to have to see what we can find. So let's jump into the standings real quick. We'll go over that, and then we'll get into the slate and see what we can do. Eastern Conference, we'll always start there with the Atlantic Division. Montreal with 22 points sits first in that division. Then you have Boston with 20 and Ottawa with 19. And with those three teams being the top three in the Atlantic right now, Steve, let me ask you at the start of the season, did you see any of that coming?
We said it the other day watching football. It's just everything's upside down in the NHL right now. It doesn't seem like Boston, just at the beginning of the season, was sitting there right at the bottom of that division and looking like they're going to have a long season. But here they are right up at the top. And, again, this has just been a competitive in the Atlantic here. Most of these teams are at 500 or above. Only Buffalo, again, same as last week, has the natural record of a team below 500. They're 5-6, but even they've grabbed 4 points out of overtime. So
right.
8 points separating first from last, and no separation at all. Good competitive division here in the Atlantic.
Absolutely. Tampa is picking it up a little bit.
Yeah, Boston
too.
has won 6 in a row now.
Yeah, they might be the hottest team right now, honestly, Steve. So we look at Tampa with 18 points. They've kind of picked it up. They're looking a little bit better. Detroit also with 18. I tell you what, that is a hot and cold team if I've ever seen one there. And that just kind of seems to be their identity when we do the show here. Seems to be the same old thing with the Red Wings. So be wary of them when you're trying to do some stuff there. Florida has even picked it up a little bit. They have 17 points. And how about this, Steve? The Toronto Maple Leafs right down there at the bottom with 17 as well, but only 3 points off of Buffalo. I mean, what is going on in Toronto? Not the start that they wanted.
But a lot of goal scoring is what's happening. But it's coming offensively and defensively is the problem. I mean, they're as leaky as anybody. They've given up 60 goals on the season, and they've scored 59. So 60 is actually second to Edmonton right now. Only the Oilers. I'm sorry. We got a couple other candidates. Nashville's given up 65. St. Louis has given up 63. The Oilers have given up 61. The next on your list is Toronto with 60. And then as far as goals scored, they are third overall. So 59 goals scored, 60 allowed. They are a natural over team, David. I got actually all the over-unders and against the spread stuff here. And the Maple Leafs, 14-2 to the over this year. How about that?
Wow. How about that? All right, so definitely keep note of that. Let's jump into the Metro with New Jersey, 23
one
points.
other side note on that, Dave.
Okay.
One other side note on that. Boston is not quite your hottest team. You're going to talk about them here in a few minutes, in a minute or two, but that would be our Anaheim Ducks, winners of 7 in a row now.
Oh, Steve, I'm hoping for good things out of them this year. I mean, how exciting is it to say, oh my God, the Anaheim Ducks are good? When is the last time you've said that?
Well, the only one to say it really was last year on this program. You kind of said towards the middle of the season, look out for this Ducks team. They can play spoiler a little bit down the road, and they're only going to get better. Then we kind of started to track them for the offseason. And yes, Gauthier and Seneca and a cast of youngsters on that team who just are thriving, and they're in an excellent game tonight at Colorado. I mean, if you guys have nothing to do on a sports night and you're up, I think that has to be must-watch TV with Anaheim and Colorado tonight.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna take a peek at that one late. And Steve, I had him to score a goal in his last game. I also had and it was a good ticket. I had Ryan Leonard in there as well for the Caps. He scores, but the goal gets called back and the ticket just goes down. But man, it was 3 out of 4 on the goal scorers, and that would have been nice. But offsides kills that one. But we've been tracking with goal scorers. I will say that.
The last couple of shows we've at least gotten a couple, if not 3 of them, out of our pack of picks. And just the picks overall, generally on Tuesday night, have been decent. I think I went 2-2 on my 4 plays last week. I had 4 teams over 3.5. And the 2 that didn't get there got 3. They probably should have gotten there, but they just ended up having big, long lulls at some point in the game that held them back at the end of the day. So doing decent on the show here. Hopefully we can just kind of keep that thing going.
Right. I think that's, with the, like you said here at the beginning, Tuesday nights is really good for this. So we're hoping people are tuning in and kind of jumping on that train too. Like you said, great early week action to focus on. So Carolina, second in the Metro Division with 22 points. They're in action tonight against the Caps. We'll get to that game. A big game for the Caps, man. They need to find a way to muster at least a point out of that. But we'll get to that when we talk about that game. Pittsburgh in third with 21. They've been playing pretty nice. Philly with 18. They're not a total disappointment at the moment either, which I thought they would be near the bottom. The Islanders, they're so kind of what we thought. They have 18 points as well. New York Rangers with 18 points. God, Steve, that team is terrible at home. I don't know what that is about. Good win for them last night, though, at home. So I will say that.
Yeah, 1-6-1 at home, 7-1-1 on the road.
So the boys like to be on the road. I guess that's what that means. Washington with 15 points, and then sharing the bottom of that bracket, Columbus with 15. So, Steve, what can we say here about the Metro?
Again, another division that you got a couple surprise teams kind of towards the top, and Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, the Islanders, who are as wishy-washy as it gets. They're your Detroit Red Wings of this division here in the Metro. So keep that in mind when the Islanders play the Red Wings. That's a runaway from the hills type of game.
Oh,
Those two
yeah.
teams match up. But my real big take is going to be our Capitals struggling. Although they are at 500 with the game, if you don't count the overtime loss, 7-8 if you do, and Columbus sitting there at the bottom. But again, only 8 points separating the top from the bottom here. All it takes is a couple of good weeks, and things can completely flip-flop around. So as we sit here now, just the East, super wide open, and it makes for good hockey, the parity. It really, really does.
Yeah. Still a little early. Again, like you said, Steve, pretty wide open. Just takes somebody having a nice month to get a streak going, and everything kind of changes. So let's jump to the West, into the Central. Colorado, one of the premier teams in the league, it's looking like right now, with 25 points. There's Dallas with 21, trying to keep pace. But here, how about this, Steve? If the playoffs started tomorrow and the season ended today, Chicago would probably be in the playoffs right now. They're third with 19 points. They're ahead of Winnipeg right now with 18 points. Utah sitting with 18 as well. Minnesota right about the 500 line. They have 17. Nashville with 14. And St. Louis, which is a little bit of a surprise to me, the bottom of that bracket with 13. So, Steve, I'm telling you, watch out for the Blackhawks in the Central. What are you making of all that?
I like the Blackhawks. What's sticking out to me with them, just in general, is their goaltending. I mean, they're getting really good goaltending on the back end. They're now 5-11 to the under. So you'd like to see them come alive on offense just a little bit better, right?
Right.
But they haven't yet. Still looking for Bedard to break it out a little bit more. But 2.33 goals against, 9.26 save percentage for Spencer Knight. He's been a good young goaltender. He's got a shutout on the season. So he's been able to carry them. And if they can just break out offensively just a little bit more, they would be well exceeding expectations, as I think they are exceeding expectations right now, at least in my mind. But let's see. Other than that, I was worried about Dallas, but yet here they are. They won 2 in a row, 6-1-1-3 in their last 10. So they're sitting back towards the top. The Avalanche have won their 3 games in a row. Losers of 3 in a row are now Winnipeg and Utah. Man, they can hit some mountains and they can hit some valleys as far as their consistency goes. Minnesota has won 2 in a row, and Nashville. Oh, poor Nashville. 5 losses in a row now.
Oh, man, getting bad there in Nashville. All right, Steve, in the Pacific, here it is. This is what we've been talking about. Anaheim, 11-3-1 with 23 points, leading this division. Vegas has 18. So that's a little bit of a gap there between those two teams. Seattle also has 18. LA with 18. Edmonton with 18. San Jose with 17. Vancouver with 17 points. Calgary with 10. That might be the worst team in the league right there. But, Steve, I mean, it is jam-packed in the Pacific right now. I mean, that is up for anybody, really. I mean, what can we say? Again, the Ducks just quite the surprise, I think, to some people. We talked about it. And they made some better additions this year. Really seems to be paying off for them. But we got a log jam here in the Pacific, Steve.
I think Kreider is huge as far as getting a veteran presence with all those young players. I mean, they've been fantastic on the road as well, 6-2-1. 9-1 in their last 10. Again, they've won 7 in a row. They're an over team as well. The thing about them is they just attack the net. I mean, they are relentless on putting that puck on the net. And then if you really watch them, they're always making that real quick extra pass. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, pinballing it around right on the fringe of the net. And it always seems to work. You always worry about having one pass is too many. Like, oh, no, why did that guy just take the shot? He had it. He tried to get too fancy. Oh, Anaheim tries to get too fancy, but they make it happen. They don't mess it up. And it looks really good when that puck connects at the back of the net there.
Yeah. I love it right now, Steve. I'm not even going to lie. I like Anaheim being up at the top. Gives it a little bit of excitement and a little bit of change out there in the Pacific.
I don't know.
All right, Steve, let's jump into this slate.
Just real quick, Dave. I mean, I know we haven't looked at any futures yet because we just haven't. Maybe we should have been looking at some more futures. You can still get Anaheim at 5-1 to win that division. And then as far as the conference goes, they're going to be nowhere close to the top as of yet. 22-1, you can still get Anaheim to win that division. So if you have someone like Montreal at the top and Anaheim to meet in the Stanley Cup, I mean, right now your $5 wins you about $1,100. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to start sprinkling a few of those bets out there.
No, not at all, Steve. Those are good numbers. I got Anaheim at 18-1 to win the division, I believe. I paired that with Colorado.
Oh, you did it right? Yeah. I saw you had a ticket. Yep.
And I had that Pittsburgh sprinkled in there, just kind of taking a shot there. But I mean, that was a 60-1 number, Steve. That is a great ticket, man. If it were to get home, so definitely look at some futures.
We'll be
play some markets for that. All right, Steve. As far as the slate goes, we got a couple of them.
You want me to hit the?
Yeah. Let's do some injuries.
Hit the injuries real quick?
Yeah, let's get some injuries going.
Just of note, from our Ducks, Ratko Gudas, he's having issues. We might get him back by Thanksgiving or so. For the Bruins, Elias Lindholm is the key injury for them. Expected back soon. Buffalo is pretty banged up. Most of their injuries are short-term. Jason Zucker amongst them. Calgary is healthy. Carolina, healthy. Chicago is decent. Colorado, slightly banged up. Samuel Girard, Logan O'Connor, two names to mention there. Columbus, 3 injuries for them. One long-term, that's Luca Morelli, unfortunately for the defenseman for them. Good player out for the season. Jamie Benn banged up for Dallas. Niels Lundqvist, Matt Duchene as well. All shorter-term injuries for the Stars, but notable. Detroit is healthy. Zach Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, and Kapanen, all key injuries for the Oilers, expected back sooner than later. The Florida Panthers will start to get Matthew Tkachuk updates here sooner than later. Maybe about another month, maybe a little more for him. Dmitry Kulikev, they'd like to get him back. Barkov out for the season for Florida. Minnesota, a trio of injuries, 2 for Montreal. So they are relatively healthy. Nashville, relatively healthy for them. New Jersey, banged up. They have a 6-pack of injuries. Connor Brown, Dougie Hamilton, Mark McLaughlin, Dandanoff, all good players injured at the moment. Semyon Varlamov, maybe another 6 weeks for him for the Islanders. Shabanov, another injury for the Islanders as well. Rempe, the big goon for the Rangers, is the only man listed for them. Brady Tkachuk for the Sens. He should be back in about a month. Let's see here. Philadelphia with some injuries, and Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh is – wonder if this is going to regress for them because we have now 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players injured on Pittsburgh, all shorter term, but still feeling the nicks and bumps of the season. San Jose, just a pair of injuries. Honorable mention to San Jose too, Dave, in the standings. They're not exactly the doormat people expected them to be. Seattle, trio of injuries for them. St. Louis, 4 injuries for them. Tampa Bay is a bagged up team. Dominic James, Victor Hedman, Anthony Cirelli, all players day to day. Toronto, just 3 injuries. Utah, 3 injuries for them. Vancouver, Philip Cheadle, Victor Mancini are players in about a group of 7 that should be back sooner than later. Vegas with 4 injuries. Pierre-Luc Dubois for our Caps. He's gone for most of the season. In Winnipeg, Gustav Nyquist, key injury for him. Or actually undisclosed. So he should be back soon. Maybe he's having a family issue or something like that. So no Nyquist for Winnipeg. Sandberg, Barron, and Kopke, all good players out for Winnipeg as well, short term. Okay?
All right.
Pittsburgh, extremely banged up short term is what I'm gathering out of this. New Jersey as well. Colorado has a few injuries and the Stars. Let's see. And I think that's about the main thing. Relatively healthier than even a week or two ago, Dave, when we've gone down the list are these teams.
So we'll see how much that factors into any streaks or within the next month or so. We'll see what these teams start to do. So, Steve, let's get right to it. We'll start off with our Washington Capitals in Carolina tonight. 6.5 is going to be your number, plus 136 for the Caps on the money line, minus 162 for the Canes at home. Your goaltending matchup tonight, Logan Thompson versus Frederik Andersen. Now, the Canes, to me, are a team that can definitely score some goals. Logan Thompson has been very solid, though. Freddie Andersen can be very solid as well. So I don't know. While I could see this game getting over, I think it's going to be more of a grinding type of game between these two rivals. So I could definitely see the under being a play at minus 135. But what I did, Steve, I did something a little different tonight, knowing that the Caps are struggling at the moment. I took Alex Ovechkin and Dylan Strome, 2 guys that should be getting pretty heavily involved here. I took them for 3+ shots on goal tonight in a little same-game parlay, getting some decent plus numbers out of that. So we're going to try some player props here for the Caps tonight instead. Other than that, I think it's a grinding type of game, like I said. I think you could take the under if you wanted to.
You know, since the days of Ole Kolzig and some of the other good goaltenders the Caps have had along the way, who's the kid who won the Stanley Cup?
Braden Holtby.
Braden Holtby, that's right. So goaltending has been far and few in between for the Capitals. Known for good goalies over the decades. But here's Logan Thompson now. 1.61 goals against average. That's first. 0.930 save percentage. That's first. So that's what's keeping the Caps afloat here and helping them win some of these more grinded out type of games. I completely get the grinded out angle with Anderson and goalie, Carolina just being your nemesis. That's why it feels like an under as well, right? You're getting plus money on over 6.5. But you just never know with these two teams, right? I mean, you could come out and see a 4-5 type of game. Carolina punished the Capitals in the last playoff round, right?
Yep.
So you'd hope the Capitals come out with a little bit better offensive effort here. I'm going to take a shot on the Caps over 2.5 goals in this game. I'm going to do it knowing that that's probably a bad bet. It's just a 3-2 game. Carolina, yeah, probably something like that. But I'm just going to go on the off feeling that the Caps can just somehow get 3 goals against them tonight, and maybe they lose 4-3 or win 4-3 or something like that. So good game, very good game on a long slate. I'll actually take a goal scorer from this game. I'll share that with you guys later when we do the goal scorers. But give me over 2.5 for the Capitals.
All right, I like it, Steve. I did look at that too, and I may still do it. Just depends what time.
It makes me. If there's the only one that loses, I'll be sick to my stomach.
Oh, no doubt. And if we wrap up in time to fire that in, I may still do it. So Toronto is in Boston to take on the Bruins. 6.5 is your number, plus 110 for the over, minus 130 for the under. Boston is going to be plus 114 at home and a minus 135 on the road for the Maple Leafs. Let's take a look at the goalies tonight. Pulling it up. And we have Anthony Stolars for the Maple Leafs, Jeremy Swayman there for the Bruins. Steve, I'll just say this. You know, the slate as we go along, you're going to find is kind of tough here. The way that the Bruins are trending right now, I'm taking them money line at home. I do have them in a ticket. I know it's Toronto, but they're towards the bottom, and Boston seems to be the better team. They got the home ice advantage tonight, 6 in a row winning streak. I mean, what more information do you need here? Let's take a shot and get the plus money with the Bruins at home, Steve.
I'm gonna. I think the obvious play here, and it's plus money at plus 110. I think the over is the play here. Both of these teams are over teams. We talked about how Toronto scores a ton and they give up a ton. Boston can score as well, and they do give up goals themselves. You probably give the goaltending edge to Boston, and at home you probably favor Boston to win this game. 7-3 at home are the Bruins. They have this hot streak going, and probably getting better as Swayman overall as he's started out the season, probably a little bit rougher. Toronto is a beast, though. I mean, they can't score themselves. They're averaging right at 4 goals a game given up and 4 goals a game scored. So I think the over is a good play. I'm going to take a shot at plus money here on the Toronto team over 3.5. That's going to be my play. I think they still score their 4 goals, and I'll be making that a part of my ticket. So we'll be on both sides of the coin all over the place. I think goals are the best bet overall, but I like to do just the team individual goals, and I'll trust Toronto a little bit better on the bigger sample size overall than just this last week or two of the Bruins, which is probably a mistake on my end. The Maple Leafs have lost 2 in a row here, but I'll trust that they're going to be able to get 4 goals on the road. Again, probably a bad call. They're 1-3 on the road here, but something tells me Maple Leafs 5, Bruins 4.
Hey, well, that gives you a chance to play an alternate total there, too.
Yeah. Honestly, the alternate, if you wanted to find a couple alternate totals tonight,
over 8.5 would be. That's what I would do.
Yeah, let's see. Here's a good, interesting parlay. We'll get to it later, but let's just plant the seed for it for now. But if we take an alternate total goal over 8.5 is at plus 390, right? Let's use 10 goals. Let's just try to get obscene. So we get plus 940 to get the 10 goals for Toronto and for the Bruins. And then the other game that has a chance to get a ton of goals here is going to be the Anaheim, Colorado game. We just saw Colorado put up 9. We know how good Anaheim is on the road here as well. And honestly, it's juiced way down for their – I was looking at the alternate total earlier, and for To get to 8 goals is just plus 164. Over 8.5 is only plus 260. They're expecting 1 million goals in this game. That's why 6.5 is probably a good play. To get to 10 is only plus 590, but you're going to get 70-1 odds. 70-1, that's a good one, like 70-1. So $10 to win 700 if you can get 10 goals in this Toronto Bruins game and in this Anaheim, Colorado game.
Oh, nice. That's an interesting play right there, Steve. I like it. All right, let's go with
$5 to win 350.
Yeah, you may have talked me into
two things to happen. Well, you just need 2 things to happen. You don't need 4 things to happen. You just need 2 things to happen at that point.
Right. All right, the Dallas Stars are playing Ottawa. This one is in Ottawa. 5.5 is your number. Minus 120 for the over. Plus 100 for the under. Dallas Stars actually plus 100 on the money line on the road. Senators minus 120. Let's take a look at the goaltending matchups tonight. Jake Ottinger back in goal for the Stars, and Linus Ullmark in goal for the Senators. Steve, I don't know. They must know something we don't here, because I'll tell you what, taking the Stars in any kind of capacity right here is really tempting for me. I like them to kind of stifle the Ottawas here on the road. I would even take a look at the under, but now seeing what we see with the money line and the 60-minute line is going to be even better. Sign me up for the Stars here, either 60-minute or money line in this one.
I like that 60-minute line at plus 165. If you're going to tell me that Ottawa is the favorite here, I'm not going to buy it. They're not the better team overall. These teams were to play a best-of-7 series. This is something where Dallas should be able to win 4 games to 1 if that were the case. And I like Dallas tonight. I'm going to take Dallas over 3.5 goals. A team who's, again, we're going to step out on the limb a little bit, almost like we are with the Capitals, to score some goals tonight. Dallas has been a little subdued, like missing a couple key players as well. But Ottawa, they've been really as leaky as anybody kind of on the back end, right? If I remember correctly. Yeah, they've given up 58 goals and 16 games played. So they're right at about 4 goals a game given up. I'm going to go ahead and side with the Stars, who've been nice. Again, here they are, 6-1-3 in their last 10, grabbing points from overtime. If this game gets to overtime tonight, I got to imagine the Stars have 3 goals when they get there. So maybe a chance to get over that 3.5 in overtime, if that's the case. And that is the beautiful thing about hockey, is you can win a lot of these games in overtime if you can just get these games tied and you're looking for one more goal by your team. So give me the Stars. I like your 60-minute line, and I'll take them for their team goals.
All right, I like it. We're on the Stars tonight. Next game, and this is one of the tougher ones. I feel like these 2 teams are pretty evenly matched right now. The LA Kings are taking on the Montreal Canadiens. Over-under here is 5.5, minus 115 for the over, minus 105 for the under, minus 105 for the Canadiens on the money line, and minus 115 for the Kings on the road. Let's take a look at the goalies tonight. Sam Montembeault is going to be in goal for the Canadiens. Darcy Kemper in goal for the Kings. So definitely goalie advantage in my mind to the Kings. Steve, this one is a tough one to handicap. I was very interested to get your take here. The way these teams are matched, when I think high goal scoring teams, the Kings aren't exactly at the top of my list. The Canadiens can do it, but the style of play that the Kings like to play, I think really is good for a under here. So I would go under 5.5 in this one, Steve.
The Kings are 6-1 on the road. That's pretty good. And again, like you said, Dave, they are an under team. They are on the season right now 7-9 to the under. 7 overs, 9 under. So they're a little bit of an under team. 10-5 to the over for Montreal, though. And the one thing that the Canadians have done, and they're 10-3 here overall, but the one thing the Canadians have done is they've answered your questions every time. Even when they go down, like again against that game against the Flyers, they were down 3 goals out of the gate, right? Last Tuesday, we're like, oh man, the Canadians were a terrible pick. Next thing you know, you look up, and it's halfway through the second period, and Montreal has the lead. You know? So they just answer the bell. I think this is going to be a good hockey game. I think it really is.
Very
good. I
would
lean to the under. I'm going to dumb down Montreal and take them for over 2.5 goals because they've been so proficient on offense. I think they can get the 3 goals at home at least. So I'll take over 2.5 on the heavy juice for Montreal at home.
And Steve, isn't that one of the things we love about this game? I feel like is just like you mentioned, stuff's not really happening, and then in the blink of an eye, these games just can get crazy out of nowhere. And that's just the game of hockey, man. So I think that's one of the best things.
That's why I like the over 2.5s, even with the heavy juice. You really need just 1 goal a period.
Yep.
If you're tied 2-2, you're going to get a chance. If you're up 2-1, you're going to get the empty net opportunity. There's just a lot of different good ways to win at over 2.5. The hockey is the one sport where you can do like the reverse bad beat on these goals scored at the end of games. It's rare you get bad beat in hockey unless you just give up a huge lead or you bet some kind of under. But playing an under is always going to be dicey with these empty net scenarios.
Absolutely.
At the end of games. It's 3-1. The other team, pulls their goalie with 5 minutes left. Good luck.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. All right, Steve, here's one I'm not so sure about. The Sharks, they're in Minnesota taking on the Wild. I think the Wild are the better team here. 6.5 is your number. I think that kind of scares me a little bit in this one. -112 for the over, -108 for the under, +164 for the Sharks on the road. You're getting -198 for the Wild. We'll take a look at the goalies here. Gustafsson is in goal for the Wild. Nedeljkovic is in goal for the Sharks. Steve, I don't know, man. I think this is going to be my first no play of the evening. I just don't have a great feel for this one. If I'm going to look at anything, I might look at a goal scorer in here for Minnesota, or I might play a 60-minute line to get a little bit better number. But all in all, I think it's going to be a no play.
So the Wild have been a surprise over team here, 10-7, averaging just about 7 goals a game overall. And the Sharks, 9-7 to the over. So these are 2 over teams. I would lean here with the Sharks just because they've been playing well, over 2.5 goals on a slight lean.
I looked at that. It had a decent number too, I believe. All right, so you're going to go with the Sharks?
Yep.
All right. Short and sweet in that one. I like it.
Short and sweet, yeah.
All right, I'm taking a chance here on this game, Steve. Calgary is in St. Louis taking on the Blues. 5.5 is your number here. It's going to be -120 for the over and +100 for the under. -148 for the Blues at home on the money line, +124 for the Flames. Let's take a look at the goaltending matchup. And then I'll give my pick out. Dustin Wolf is going to be in goal for Calgary, and Jordan Bennington in goal for St. Louis. So St. Louis definitely has the goaltending edge. Now, they're not playing very well, kind of a hot and cold team themselves. But this is a good spot for them, I think, against the worst team in the league right now. Steve, this is my chance of the night. Again, like you said, with some of your Probably a bad bet. I'm probably going to regret it, but I am going to take the puck line -1.5 for the St. Louis Blues at +170 on a ticket. I think if you're going to take a chance, take it against the worst team in the league. St. Louis has shown flashes that they're able to score some goals. I think they get the job done here at home, hopefully by a couple goals.
Dave, I'm with you 100% here. If not now, when for St. Louis and the Blues here at home against a team who's clearly is the worst team in hockey, I think, Calgary. So more or less a fade of Calgary more than a support of St. Louis. But this is their chance. I'll dumb it down. I'm not going to go quite on the limb that you are -1.5. But I'll make the Blues over 2.5 at heavy juice a play on my parlay ticket.
All right,
so
I like it.
They can get to 3 goals.
On the Blues.
I would hope they can get to 3 goals against Calgary.
Me too, Steve, because if they don't, they're going to find themselves in the penalty box. I can tell you that much. All right, so probably one of the better games of the evening. Anaheim is in Colorado to take on the Avalanche, the 2 top teams out west. 6.5 is your over-under tonight, -148 for the over, expecting goals. So probably a good chance, as Steve mentioned, with that fun ticket to get a little alt play going on here. Under is going to be +124. Now, Colorado is heavily favored at home, -270, +220 on the money line for the Ducks. Something is just screaming at me to take that. They just have been playing so well. So Colorado, again, heavily favored at home. Your goaltending matchup is Lucas Dastahl for the Ducks, and Scott Wedgwood is in goal for Colorado. Now, Steve, knowing that piece of information right there in this goaltending matchup makes me feel so much better about playing a little all-over ticket here. When I think good goaltenders, those guys aren't probably at the top of my list. So I think we could see a great game here. I would say at least 4-3 for one of these teams, top 2 teams in the West. Let's see some goals out here tonight.
Yeah, it should be a fantastic game. Looking forward to it. Goals are plenty. Nathan McKinnon has 14 goals already on the season. How about that? 29 points for him. Leo Carlson, we haven't even mentioned him for the Ducks. He has 10 goals, 25 points on the season for him. Just a fun, good game. The TNT crew has this one, so it'll be interesting to get their analysis on Anaheim as well to see if they think that it's long-term sustainable, which I imagine that it is. But you're looking at 2 teams who have won 21 combined here on their short season already. So, and they just have 4 regulation losses between them on the season. How about that for a stat? They lost incredible. In overtime, but just 4 times in regulation have they lost, both of these teams. So maybe in overtime.
It's incredible. Yeah, overtime play here. You're going to probably at least get 3-1 for sure.
Hey, you get Toronto, Boston. You have a chance at overtime on a bunch of these games tonight, to be honest. Washington,
it's
Carolina,
been a while since we played an overtime ticket.
The Kings, Canadians could be an overtime game. Toronto and Boston could certainly be an overtime game. Would it shock you if San Jose and Minnesota was an overtime game? Not at all.
Not at all. No, I like it. Man, I might have to play something here. Hope probably live line, but I'm talking myself into a couple plays here, it seems like. 2 games left, Steve. Columbus is in Seattle to take on the Kraken. This one I was interested in a little bit, believe it or not. Over 6.5 is +105. Under is going to be -125. +100 for the Jackets on the road. -120 for Seattle at home. So if we look at the goalies, Merzlikins is in goal for the Jackets. Matt Murray in goal for the Seattle Kraken. I don't I don't like that as much. Matt Murray's not what he used to be when he was with Pittsburgh. So we'll see what happens there. But with that being said, Steve, I'm going to go back against the grain. I like Seattle on the money line at -120 tonight at home. I think still at the end of the day, they're a little bit better of the team. So I'm going to take a chance with them at home.
Slight favorite for Seattle, for sure. -120 is a line, like you said. Merzlikins is still a good goalie. Man, Columbus, they just kind of need to get right at some point, or you get the feeling Columbus is just better than what they've shown. I mean, they've lost 4 in a row though, and here, let me just kind of get back to them for a second. Let me take a look at the scores of the last 4 games, because I think that's somewhat important here against Seattle, who's been playing, like you said, a little bit better. Now, Columbus lost the last time out to the Oilers 5-4, Canucks 4-3. They got killed by the Flames 5-1 and lost to the Islanders 3-2. Before that, they had won 4 in a row. I'm going to take Columbus over 2.5 goals and hope for the best here.
Yeah, it came down. I was going to take either of them for 2.5 because I think the number is actually the same, isn't it?
Should be close anyway. I got Vancouver. I got Seattle at a little bit more juice.
Okay. All right. Last game of the evening. Now here's again a situation where maybe they know something we don't here, Steve, because I looked. Winnipeg is in Vancouver taking on the Canucks. Winnipeg didn't play last night, but we're going to go over the lines here. 5.5 is your number, -130 for the over, +110 for the under, -125 on the money line for the Jets against the Canucks, and +105 for the Canucks on the money line. +200, so 2-1 for -1.5 for the Jets. Are they not the better team? They are in my mind, Steve. So let's take a look at the goaltending matchup. Maybe that's the reason for such a number. Thatcher Demko is going to be in goal for Vancouver. Hellebuck's in goal for the Jets. So I'm not so sure that I really understand this. It seems like the -1.5 for the Jets on the road. You might not get that kind of number again for quite a few games here at least. So, Steve, I'm going to take the chance here, -1.5 for the Jets on the road. That's a great number.
They've lost 3 in a row, but you got to figure it out. It's got to break soon.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
I would trust Winnipeg here. It's going to be too late for me, so a no play. I'm going to just beg Columbus gets a couple goals off the bat so I can fall asleep if my ticket needs it at the end of the night. Jets win, 4-2. Sounds like a good, correct score to me.
Yeah, Steve. Hey, we would like that. All right, so let's get into our goal scores.
All right. I'll go first. I'll do this as a 4-player round robin. So I'll play this. If 3 of the players hit, it'll win. If all 4 of them hit, then we'll get a nice little jackpot. $5 investment for a grand total payout of about $1,600. I'll take Jacob Chychrun for our Capitals. I'll take Thomas Harley for the Stars. I'll take Beckett Seneca for the Ducks. And I'll take Adam Fantilli for the Columbus Blue Jackets.
I like that ticket, Steve. All right, so I'm gonna go with 4 guys as well. This will be a little $10 ticket here, shooting for about $1,100 for these 4 guys. So that's not a terrible price there. We're gonna go back to the well with Ryan Leonard. Like I said, he had that goal waved off in his last game. Great number for him. We're going to go Matthew Nyes for the Toronto Maple Leafs, if Uncle Steve is feeling some goals there. Mikko Rantanen there for Dallas, one of the centerpieces in that offense. And then we're going to go Cole Caulfield for Montreal. So we got some top guys paired with Ryan Leonard, who has just hit 1 million posts already this season as well. So I feel like at some point, Steve, he is going to be due. All right, so let's take a look. You got somebody for the penalty box, and then we're right out of here for puck drop.
Yeah. We got to give out our final picks as well.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Let's see. Cue up the penalty box.
Guys, Mike, come on. You can't do that. That was probably number 10. 2 minutes broken. I need you, Tampa, tripping.
And I'll keep this simple. Just because I haven't thrown them in the box yet and they're deserving of it, we'll throw the Predators in there because they've been awful.
That's a good one, Steve. Let's see here. I'm looking at the slate, having kind of a tough time. I think you've got probably the better pick here. But you know what? I'll go with something a little surprising. Let's go with the Maple Leafs sitting at the bottom of the Atlantic right now.
All right.
So we're going to go with the Maple Leafs put into the penalty box.
And transitioning to our picks, my first pick, over 3.5 Maple Leaf goals tonight.
I love it.
I'll do a 6-pack of teams to get their team goals total over 3.5 for Toronto, over 3.5 for the Stars, and then over 2.5 each for Washington, Montreal, St. Louis, and Columbus.
All right, I love it. Good ticket there. All right, Steve, here's what I'm going to do my primary picks here. I'm going to go Ducks money line on the road tonight. We're going to give the Kraken hopefully a chance tonight at home. Boston Bruins at home versus Toronto. So me and Steve are having some differences here in the studio on that game. But you know what? That's all right. That's what we want. So give me Boston on the money line. And then the risk of the evening, Steve, with St. Louis at home versus Calgary, -1.5 on the puck line.
And again, I mean, there's a chance for some overtime games tonight. That game we've talked a lot about, Maple Leafs and the Bruins. You wouldn't be surprised if it's the Caps, Hurricanes, Kings, Canadiens, even the Flames and the Blues. They're both bad at the end of the day, right? Sharks, Wild,
Right.
Ducks, Avalanche, Blue Jackets, Kraken, even the Jets and the Canucks. All those games could find their way to overtime tonight. So if you bet some sort of a round robin ticket with overtimes, then you might be live for that as well. In a couple games really to go super over again as well with the Ducks and the Avalanche. It's priced that way. That is going to be a super over game because you're not getting a lot of juice just for the 8 goals. And Maple Leafs Bruins again, I think another good one just for those two. Like we said, just need 2 things to happen for a nice payout. 70-1.
Yeah, Steve, I like that play. That's that'll be a fun one. All right, well, that's the Tuesday night slate. So we've definitely found some good things in what I thought is a tougher slate. As of
time for
lately.
the puck drop.
So time for puck drop. We'll get everybody out of here. Steve, good luck for your tickets, and let the people know what the lineup is.
All right, yep. We'll be back with the round robin this Sunday, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, NFL Week 11. All right, Dave, good luck.
All right, good luck.
What the puck is going on?